What's going on, family? It's your boy Aiden Dynamite Stone, the living legend.
Terrell Bilbo, the crypto consultant.
Listen, we are here at the Money Talk Show podcast, man. Listen, the creation of this deal to make sure you understand the real talk to come to money and get in position with that deal. This show was created for everybody across the nation who need to understand how money really works. Like, listen, money talks. At the end of the day, is the blueprint to this deal. So on this show, we're going to make sure you get all the sauce to make sure you get in position.
And then I'm going to make sure that you know everything that's going on in the crypto space. This is the largest transfer of wealth that we'll see in our lifetime. And we want to make sure that everybody is in position.
So make sure you strap up your seatbelts. We're about to go for a ride. Tune in. Let's get it popping. Money Talk Show. Let's get it. Let's go. All right, what's going on? What's going on, family? It's your boy, Agent Dynamite, Son, the living legend, man. We are back at it for another Money Talk Show podcast, man. We are super excited about this particular show. Guys, we got some special invited guests that's going to be coming on with us today to be able to have a good time. We have been on a marathon of events and presentations today, but guys, today is going to get even better. Can you say goodier? It's going to get goodier and goodier and goodier. And today is that goodier piece of the evening that over dinner, guys, you're going to get a chance to unlock some of the secrets of the wealthy as we go through the Money Talk Show. So as you guys know, we created this show to be able to bring insight to information of some of the top professionals across the country to be able to help the average and ordinary person go to the next level. I don't know about you guys, but having the information to be able to elevate in life has always been important to me. So we created this show to help individuals around the world to be able to bridge the gap of financial literacy and education, right? And so I'm back here with my partner, Mr. Terrell Bilbo, the crypto consultant, and I'm gonna let him invite some of our special guests. And one of them kind of got his name a little bit, you know what I mean? So I'm pretty sure he know how to pronounce that name when she come up, but this is going to be absolutely phenomenal. So do me a favor, before we dive in too deep, go ahead and share this video. Now, if you're on Facebook Live, share it, YouTube, share it. Go ahead and tag a friend, tell a friend to tell a friend, man. The Money Talk Show is back here again. So Mr. Bilbo, how you doing, sir?
Man, I'm doing amazing. How you doing?
Man, I'm excited, man. I'm doing absolutely excited, man. Ecstatic, man. We had a great day today educating the people around the world, man. So this secondary show going to be real good.
How's my video looking right now?
It's looking good. Like you dragging just a little bit, but you know, it looked good. The background look amazing. But yeah.
Like I'm about to jump on the baby grand real quick.
Yeah, just a little bit. Look like it's dragging just a little bit. You want to try to reset your connection?
Yeah, I'll come out and come back in.
All right, 10-4. All right, I'm gonna keep rolling for a second. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Bilbo is getting situated, guys. I'm going to bring forward some of my guests, and we're just going to talk a little bit about what this is. So as you guys know, our whole concept since we started this show is, number one, teach you how to accumulate assets, right? Most people understand liabilities very, very well. They understand how to spend money. They understand how to, eradicate their savings. They can't wait to, that check come the first of the year. You know what I'm talking about, that people put them dependents and start getting extra kids, right? So everybody waiting for that time to spend money, but very, very little people sit around the table and talk about how to save money, how to invest money, get ahead financially. Guys, if you don't realize that the lifestyle that we live in today is because of the decisions we made yesterday or yesteryear. Does that make sense? So we understand the decision that we make today is going to take care of our tomorrow. And we're getting older, we're getting wiser. So our goal is to be able to make better decisions with our money, of how we put ourselves in position, right? So I'm gonna bring Mr. Bilbo back up and see if his signal was good to go, because I want him to do this intro and make sure we good to go. All right, Bilbo, you good now?
I think I'm still lagging, man.
Oh my goodness. All right, just a little bit. I'm gonna let you do the intro, then I'll bring up the guests as we go ahead and get started. So go ahead, Doc. I'll let you do the intro to bring up the young lady that has your last name that you can go ahead and bring up, man. You know how to edify that young lady better than anybody else.
Absolutely. So guys, it gives me special pleasure to bring someone who's very special and important to me in my life. I've seen her journey over these last 5 to 6 years in the real estate game. Like they always say, having a partner in the business with you can be difficult but it also can be very rewarding. And we built a strong team. And I'm just amazed at her growth and everything that she does, man. I look at her every day and be like, that's my baby. So without further ado, I have to bring to the stage Miss Ty Bilbo.
Miss Ty Billboard. See, I told you, couldn't nobody say that's my baby but him. Could nobody do nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? That man been took one of them sofas in that background and hit somebody. Couldn't nobody do no intro like that, man. So welcome to the show, sis. Clap your hands and Miss Ty.
Thank you guys for having me. Thank you.
Absolutely. We're glad to have you on, man. Listen, congratulations on your journey, man, and what you've been doing in real estate. And tell a little people about your background, where you're from, what you got going on now before we dive too much into the conversation. Just go ahead and warm the people up to who you are.
All right. So I'm based in Houston, Texas. I am a new construction specialist. I also work with veterans because a lot of agents don't like working with veterans because it's tedious, but it's not. I love it. So if you're a veteran, active military, come see me. And we also, develop, like my husband said, we develop all over Houston. He is amazing. So he has been teaching me in real estate. So he's my mentor. So that's who I look up to in this real estate game. So I don't have to go anywhere with it right next to me. So I'm excited for the journey that we're taking and everyone who wants to get in on the things that we're doing.
Man, absolutely phenomenal. So listen, so Tay, I'm gonna let you bring Miss Althea. Also, you want to introduce Miss Althea so she can come on forward to the stage.
Absolutely. So this a phenomenal woman is another real estate agent here in the market, but she also does insurance. So she's multifaceted in the game. We met a few years back. And we've just been rocking steady since then. She has a tremendous network, and this brings a lot of knowledge and information to the table. And we're happy to have her to be a part of what we're doing here at Base. So without further ado, Miss Althea Morris, please come to the table.
There she go, Miss Althea Morris.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for having me. So you want me to kind of briefly introduce myself?
Absolutely. Just go ahead and tell the people who you are, where you're from, and kind of what you've been up to in your career.
Well, I'm going to tell y'all, it's going to age me a little bit, but I'm going to tell you anyway. I'm a Houstonian. I've been here since I was 3 years old. I've been a realtor for the past 40 years. So I've seen this industry go up, down, left, right, everywhere, right? Like Ms. Ty say, I'm not just in new construction. I really focus in on a lot of our buyers because they need homes, but they have no clues. They think they can't buy. So I'm one of these kind of people. I zig and I zag. I'm going to go this way or that way to get you where you need to be. I am also a financial coach. I've been a financial coach for the past 18 years. So I also show my clients how to not only buy a home, but I tell them to not put all their eggs in one basket. So I show them how to invest in securities, mutual funds, etc.
Man, that's key right there, Miss. As y'all can see, man, we got some heavy hitters on here today, too. We got some sisters that's moving and grooving. They out here
playing around over here.
They out here shaking and baking, man. So Miss Althea, we're gonna start with you and kind of go from there. I know you're saying your background being in finance, which is what is dear to my heart. Also, that financial coach piece, insurance, investment, putting people in position. Like when you made that transition, you say, many years ago to go into real estate and being able to incorporate financial literacy. I kind of want to dive into that a little bit because a big part of Base, which is, the corporation, real estate development corporation that we have thriving in Houston, a big piece of that, right, is being in a situation to make sure not only people can acquire assets, but understand money, because that's like base deal development and financial literacy education. So if you could talk a little bit about that, about the importance, right, of financial literacy while a person is acquiring assets. Let's just kind of dive into that.
Exactly. What people don't understand is that the way America function is money. And if you don't know how money works, you're going to be on the losing end every time. There was a study done back in 2016, and the study was focusing on white, Hispanics, and Blacks. And when we got down to the study, it says by 2043, we're going to be out of the wealth game. If our people do not learn how money works. So when I do sell a home, I don't just sell a home to get a commission. I want them to know the whole 9 yards, because you don't want them to get in there and not understand what they need to do to stay in that home. Just like we were discussing earlier, you guys remember what we were talking about on the
Absolutely.
Zoom earlier. So you got to teach them that, and if you teach them that, then you build that trust and you bring that value. Then they're going to come and talk to me also about getting to mutual funds, because I tell the kids it's not about you going to school to do this, that, and the other, because we going to the AI, the electric cars, all of that is coming. So you better tap in on all of it. And I was going to tell Mr. Terrell tried to get me in on the crypto and the Bitcoin, but it just wasn't something that. But I do have a Bitcoin now, Terrell. I do have a Bitcoin account, so you must know that, okay?
Hey, there you go. Hey, man,
You got to start somewhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, no, you're going the right direction, and that's key right there. One of my partners, Mr. Clayton, he just said he got to connect with you, Miss Althea. So he's a veteran also, right? So he's kind of like in between you, Ty, and you, Miss Althea. So Clayton is a veteran, right, who served, right, but he's also a real estate agent, right? And so he's a real estate agent here in North Carolina area, out in Fayetteville, out there towards Fort Bragg. One of my partners, and he's done some great stuff in the community. So I'll definitely merge you guys together so y'all can connect and start building. See, this is what this is all about, man. Bringing people together to have connect to go to the next level. But I love what you said, because closing in real estate and then teaching financial concepts is something totally different. And like we talked about on our show, like protecting people from losing assets and probate and things like that. I just commend you, for what you're doing in that space, right? So Tyler, let's talk a little bit about, Tyler, with you immersing yourself into the Houston market. Like, what have you seen right here in 2025? Like, what are people looking for in the real estate market, and how have you been able to help position people to be successful?
So in this market, it's a crazy market. This is a market that people haven't seen before. So you have some people who are on the fence, and you have some people who are out there buying. And what I say, like, if your money is right and you have a great agent, you know what you want, you know how much you want to pay, your mortgage, then go and buy the home. Because once the rates start going down, then the market is definitely going to get saturated, and it's going to be bidding wars. So you definitely want to, make that decision and not wait, because a lot of people are like, let me wait. And, that can work out for some, but it's really not a good idea to wait if you're really ready to buy. And new construction is definitely booming out here in Houston. I had an agent from I think it was North Carolina, come out here just to do, a promo video to promote new builds in Houston. So people are moving here every day, like thousands of people are moving a day here.
That's crazy. I think your point, Ty, was real valid, because people are talking about the interest rates, right? But like you said, if your money's right and you can get in position, do it now, right? Because you can buy now even with a higher rate and still refinance to get a lower interest rate later, right, Ty? Can't that be a strategy? A person can lock in their property if they want to refi to drop the rate. They can do that too, right? So there's really no reason to wait. Is that true?
Right. You can do that, and you can buy down the rates also.
That's true. That's true.
And I want to piggyback on what she was saying, because I have 4 people right now that got pre-qualified by lenders at the 6 or 7% interest rate, and they couldn't afford anything because of the amount they were quoted for. But I took them to some new builds who were buying their interest rate down to 3.99 or 4.99. They were able to buy new builds up in the 200,000, and they'll be able to close this June, July, by doing that. So she's so right. Get the lenders who's willing to buy down the interest rates for the new buyers.
Man, all these sisters saying, if you got some change, you can do some things. You know what I'm saying? If you got some change, you can do some things. Ain't no reason to be sitting around talking about, I'm waiting for, trying to blow the screen to get the interest rate to go down. Man, if you got some change, make a move, right? Because I agree, you don't want to be in that bidding war. You don't want to be saturated. Like, I remember when this happened a couple of years ago, and them houses were selling like so fast. I mean, people was overbidding, like, just to lock in the house. So let's think about this. So in reality, people was paying more to get the house what they wanted with a lowest interest rate. Now people are just scared to make that decision that it's going to be more, right, with the interest rate that's high. But ain't that like the same thing? If they was overbidding there and the rates is low, right, but you're going to pay more now because the rates is high. Ain't that really like the same buying climate? Am I tripping, or is that kind of like?
I think what it comes down to, just like we talk about in the market, when people are fearful, that's when we're greedy. When people are greedy, that's when we're fearful. That I think that's the same concept here, because while people are being scared right now, you need to be getting into the property, because when everybody excited about these houses are going to be, you think they're out of your reach now, they're really going to be out of your reach at that particular point. So it's just a market sentiment. It's always about emotional intelligence that we talk about all the time. But a lot of people need agents like these to help them navigate the space and really calm down the fears and give them some solid advice.
Man, that's key. And the advice is get your money up, right? Get your money up, and so you can be able to make some moves. So let's talk about that a little bit. Go ahead. I don't want to cut you off. Finish that thought, but I want to talk to you about funding and capital to get in position. But go right ahead with your question. What's your statement?
Well, some of these people don't understand. Okay, like now, y'all in an arena where, y'all might know it's a different arena than I am. So I listen to what you guys say when y'all in y'all zone, because that's what you guys know. When I'm in my zone, I tell the people I'm in my zone. But, before I get to talking to everybody, I'm telling them stories. I'm getting them prepared for the funding. I'm saying, listen, what are you paying in rent? I'm like, you paying somebody else's mortgage. I say, so you need to get somewhere where you got your mortgage, you building up equity so you can go get equity. I also tell them the difference between the rich and the poor. The rich, when they have homes and they have equity in their home, they go get out the equity, they buy property, they flip properties, they put the money back, they go and they do it again. So I'm telling them, letting them know you building up this equity that's yours to go get whenever you need to get it. And I remind them back in the day when I was doing it was 9% interest rate, then it would drop, and I say, don't be afraid, because when it drops, you go refinance to where it's lower. So a lot of the realtors don't understand, you can't just get in there and say, I'm gonna show you a house and go after the commission. You got to know both sides. I used to have my loan officer license, so I know both sides of it. So I'm talking that language that they need to hear so that they can say, okay, I feel more comfortable about it, and I'm nosy. I'm like, put me on everything. The lender has to put me on all the emails. Okay. I need to know what is going on so I'm not surprised. And during COVID, I was a processor, you guys, also. It was like, if the processor's at home and not doing their job, I'm going to do the job for them, because I like getting to the closing table. Okay.
I have one more thing to say. When she touched on the point about the equity in the home, and that is so true. Like us as people, we just let it sit because we're scared to touch it. And my husband and I, we talk about this all the time. Like, if you want to go and buy a new property, like you said, or just redo your home, or pay for your kids' schooling, use that equity. But we think of it as a bill, and we have to get out of that mindset. It is not another bill. Just letting everybody out there, listening, it's not another bill. This is to help you propel your wealth. And so that's very important to understand.
It's leverage. Absolutely.
Leverage. Man,
and I say, if the numbers don't make sense, don't do it. My sister had to do a refi from a low interest rate to a higher interest rate, but I'm like, okay, put all your bills in there, all your debt in there when you refinance, then do the numbers. If you're bringing in more income, even though you're paying a lot of interest rate, if more money coming in your household, then you do it. And she did what I told her. The numbers made sense to her. And she,
Hey, that's what you call season right there, boy. That's lemon pepper. That's lemon pepper and Lawry's right there, boy. That's seasoning. You know what I'm saying? Hey, it's a refine, put your bills in there, and then we just gonna clean all this up at one time. It look higher, but you got more money coming in. Come on, the doors of the church is now open. We're gonna pass this cup around to right here. Let's go ahead and collect. That's what I'm talking about, baby. That's solid. So let's go into the funding piece. Terrell, let's open that door, man, about getting people prepared, funding, credit, funding, lending, how to get in, preparation to be able to leverage the bank money. Go ahead and talk about that, man. I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all dive in it. I'm gonna go backstage, Terrell. Miss out there, I'm about to send you a cash app. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Absolutely. So what we find more often is that either people have one or two things. They either have credit and don't have money, or they have money and don't have credit. So the thing about it is that what we try to teach everybody is how to leverage themselves and get yourself properly positioned to do what you need to do in this market, right? So, Miss Althea, I want to start with you first. because I know you're part of what we're doing here at Base, and you're also putting yourself in position to invest and do different things. So what is that journey or has been for you trying to get yourself in position to leverage the bank's money to do different things that you want to do?
Well, from being introduced to you and Adrian, it's helping me a little bit better. Now, I have a corporation that's been around for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But I just never did anything with it. But during the pandemic, I changed it to for a profit. But going after and actually finding the money was challenging.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't have business credit and versus your personal credit. So the funding, I'm so glad that I reached out to you guys, and I'm so glad to be a part of this, because you're going to be able to show me as a corporation or LLC where I can go get that money to join this organization to become, you know, part of this as an investment group. Because me, I never wanted to flip houses. I never wanted to be a landlord. Okay. But I have a godson who's 21. That's what he wants to do. So I said, okay, I'm going to bring you into this fold so you can do it, but I'm going to get you in, but you're going to do all the work, because I don't want to do I don't want to deal with no people and stuff like that. So I like it. I like the funding because this is going to be a way for me to get into something at cost and then be able to either resell or turn it into an investment property. So I love the fact that you are helping. And they don't understand what kind of help you're going to be able to give them, because you're helping them get the funding together as the LLC, whether it's on their credit or the corporation's credit.
Absolutely. So there are a few key components that most people don't realize. And like I said, I learned this, you know, being out here teaching. Most people don't know the small things, you know, whether it's hey, I need to have an address that's not the home address. I need to have a phone that's not the cell phone. It doesn't need to be a PO box. So some of those things is just common. Well, to us, we feel like it's common knowledge, but a lot of people don't know that. So Ty, when you were setting up, because I know you have a few organizations that you do as well, like what has been your process? And I know you just recently went for what was it, the certifications that you got with the city and things like that. And you were telling me like the process is tedious, but if you know how to do it, you can help other people do it. So tell us a little bit about your process and how you've been setting your corporations up.
Yeah, so I have three. I have one for womb wellness for women, and then I have one for real estate, and then I have another one for nonprofit. And so I've been setting my LLCs up, and then I also went to the city of Houston to get certified with three of the programs that they have. So if you just go to the city of Houston and read the instructions on how to submit, because you have to have a business, it could be your home with the city of Houston, a phone number. So the criteria is a little bit different, but it's like technical. So you have to have someone to guide you if you're not understanding, you know, how to, you know, do the criteria, like get a business or get a phone number or get the LLC, what website to go to on how to get the LLC. It's easy. And since I've been through it, I can show other women how to do the certificate, because it's for minority women, small business, and it's one more living in Houston. So you can go get those three certifications and work with the city of Houston and bid on contracts and win those contracts. Now that's a separate part on learning on how to bid on the contracts. First, you got to get in the door. And so that's the part where I am. I've already submitted. So it takes about 6 months just for them to approve the application. So I'm super excited about that.
Absolutely. And that just goes back to the point of getting in position. That's more than anything. Like a lot of people, and I see, and we gonna touch feelings or whatever. But you know how people are. You know, we out here complaining about DEI and all these different things. But the truth of the matter is, if you really look at the statistics when it comes to all these programs, less than 1% of us are really actually going after these programs. So I always say we can sit up here and fuss and do all these things, but what kind of action are you taking and what kind of position are you putting yourself in? So that's more of a bigger thing for me. It's like, man, look, we can talk all day and we can argue and complain, but what are you doing to put yourself so you could actually make some moves in this market? So that's what's important. So I want to ask Miss Althea. So being around this, I know you say you've been in the real estate market for 40 years, right? And then seeing people that have the same hue as you doing this development and being builders. What kind of insight do you have for us? Like, what does that mean to you to see that actually taking place in this time and place?
Well, I'm glad you asked me that, Terrell, because remember I told you I had set up to where I had a business plan and everything saying I wanted to go into these revitalization areas that you guys are in to
Mm-hmm.
buy a property so that our people could afford it. So it's like it was like confirmation for me when I met you guys, right? But as far as me, all the years that I've come across and I've seen things like with the city of Houston, with their home buyers program they got for people who are trying to buy homes, and they got these builders that are in the inner city buying up properties and stuff like that. You see a lot of them, they're not us, they're not our color,
That's right.
and they're buying up the properties, and they have to sell so many of the properties to the city of Houston for the low to middle income people, right? But then the rest of them they get to sell, but they came in with the city of Houston, they came in with Harris County to do that. So now, guess what? I'm going to be able to be on the end of the building and also the end of the becoming one of those city people who are, have put, I'm on their thing as a builder under you guys. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So that we can get some of those properties okay through them and
Yeah.
again get the program. Are y'all familiar with the Harris County land program? Are you familiar with that?
Yes.
The land
Yeah.
bank.
Ty, yeah, it took me getting one guy 4 months to get through that program, right? But they gave him $150,000 to buy a brand new spanking brand new home, for him and his kids because he was in that category,
That's
right?
beautiful.
So I was just so happy that he was able to do it, and now they're getting ready to bring it back again. So some of these projects we're doing, right, get in on some of that land program for the people.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I want to jump onto that right there, Ms. Althea. For your site, kind of going on that same notion, and I'm just gonna call it for what it is, as a black woman in real estate, right? Itself, like, what does that mean to you, right now, seeing how the industry's evolving, the access that you had? Because I could only imagine it was tougher then to get access to the same stuff that you have. You could walk in a room and do your deals and be respected as a black professional from who you are. Like, what do you feel like? How should black women in real estate appreciate the opportunity now, you know what I'm saying, versus how it was when you started? Can you kind of dive into that? Because I want the viewers to really understand, because sometime in our culture, because I'm 40, so that means you started like 1984, like you started around my birthday.
Yes.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And so it's like,
Exactly.
so,
Exactly.
so when I look at like the progression of things, I love history, I love evolution, you know what I'm saying? I just love to see that. But I also think sometime in the younger generation, because we weren't a part of what happened before us, you know what I'm saying, to be able to get to these opportunities, it's easy to take stuff for granted. Does that make sense? Of like how
Right.
much easier you could walk in and just do a deal, and walk in your stilettos and with your briefcase and just do the deal. You know what I'm saying? But before, you had to sit outside, like they wouldn't even let your behind tiptoe up in here. So let's talk about the
Well,
appreciation and the evolution of the industry.
well, back in 1985, I was a single parent, so I needed to make money. So I was one of these people, I'm gonna do whatever it takes to make money. I try things. I'm not one of these people that turn my, I said, no, 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 I'm gonna try it. If it doesn't work out, I move on to the next. So I
Absolutely.
got my license back then. And then back then it was a different day. You had the Century 21, the Gary Green Realtors, those kind of companies would hire you, and actually you come in and they would take you to the open houses. They would let you answer the phones. They would actually train you in this business. It's not like that these days. These brokers just want to get your money. They don't want to train you in this business. Okay. So yeah, you have to learn it, and then you have to also bring value to people. You got to let them know within the first 30 seconds that why would they want to hire me. I have to let them know why they want to hire me within the first 30 seconds, right? But now I'm at the point, since I've been doing this for so long, I don't have to go out and pay for leads and hustlers. People send people to me.
Absolutely.
You see what I'm saying? Because of the fact that I'm not going to give up. I'm going to keep at it and keep at it until you get in the house, and I'm going to let them know that, right? On my tag, on my email, it says, I get the job done,
That's what I'm
So
talking
that,
about.
yeah.
I love that. I'm
Yeah,
at
so
to put
that's
that
what
on
my
my
thing is.
BMW. I get the job done. Job done. Hey, that's gonna come into a tag on my whip.
Yeah.
When I come let you see it,
Yeah.
I get the job done. I'm gonna give you credit for it, but I'm gonna put that on the
Got
whip.
you.
Go ahead, Joe. Go ahead.
But I'm more like a hustle mentality, okay? I'm a hustler. You can
That's
tell me
right.
no. I'm gonna get through the no's till I get to that yes. Okay, that's just my thing. I'm not gonna feel bad. I'm not gonna quit. A lot of them get in here and quit. I've been doing this through all of that stuff, like you guys were talking about the hedge funds in 2021. The reason the properties was going for 10 and 20 over is because the hedge fund people were in it. They wasn't in it because they wanted to use the money as, they need to use the money for some reasons, right? So they go and pay 20, 30,000 over. But that hurt the people who were trying to purchase houses at that time. That hurt us as realtors, right, Ty? Because you got a buyer, they can't compete with the 20, 30,000 over,
Right.
So it's just like me. I don't give up. You have to have an end in mind. You have to have goals. I tell myself I'm gonna make so much this year, and I'm gonna push and push to make that this year. So
So what's going on in the Houston market right now? As with us in base doing affordable housing, and like you kind of went into that with some programs. Like, what are some things if you were talking to our followers right now and our listeners, as a minority, right? What are some things you feel like they should do as minorities to be able to take advantage of the programs to get as much money from the city or government or grants as out there to be able to buy homes? Because there's a huge shortage. It's a huge overflow, a shortage of houses in Houston. So how can minorities tap into the knowledge that they don't know?
Well, first of all, they got to get somebody that's going to tell them about the scores. They got to understand scores are important. That's the first thing they got to know. The second thing they got to know is they got to stop purchasing. When they're looking for a home, they got to stop buying, period, until they get into that home. They got to know that you got to do the numbers. Don't think that you can't buy. A lot of our people think they can't buy. They just don't. I can't do it. I'm not gonna qualify. Then you get them in there and say, okay, well let's at least run it. Let's see what's going on. And then they're surprised when they tell them, well, yeah, you can buy. You just have to buy this much, right? And I say this is a starter home for you, but you're getting out of their rentals.
Absolutely.
So yeah, that's the thing yes. So you have to really, really know your buyers. You got to know them, and you got to get to know them and say yes, and if you do what I tell you to do, you'll be able to get in. I'm going to give y'all an example. One of those couples I was telling you that is buying, they're buying a DR Horton. They were qualified for 175K with the regular loan person. They went to DR Horton. They put them into a program because they had to have a 620, 640 score. Told them to pay down 2 debts. They paid down their 2 debts, and it was up to a 646. They're closing on a house. Then they'll find that money if they really need that money. A lot of them don't know. You can go get gifts from your family and not have to, gift letters. You just have to be
creative.
You got to master your craft.
You got to be
master your craft.
That's one of the things that I know me and my wife talk about all the time. Is like being in this real estate game when we were doing mortgages and we were doing running and gunning. The reason why we were able to do what we were able to do because we knew the game inside and out. We knew how to think. We knew how to think creatively. We knew how to think outside of the box. And like Althea said, we knew how to get to the closing table. Period. And that's what it is, man. Like being a professional in this space, that's all it's about. What, like she said, what's going to set you apart from everybody else who's doing this? How many agents? Like just in Florida, it's like 80,000 agents in Florida. So out of those 80,000 or whatever the case is, what's going to separate you? And I think that's a major thing that I think most, and me and my wife talk about. It's like most agents are sorry. Most agents
they are.
They say they sell maybe one deal every quarter that equals out to about $40,000. You might as well go be a teacher Like
Right.
it doesn't make
Right.
sense to be in this game and just because people want to, oh, I'm an entrepreneur or I'm a real estate agent. Nah, man, it's more than that. It's like this is more than a notion. You got to get up and go every day.
Right.
You know, and most people don't do it.
And I think when we start getting these young people to buy these properties that we're going to get, I want our people to have first dibs. I really do. I'm not trying to be prejudiced
Okay,
or anything like that.
We can't say that on
live. We have some static in the line, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. We can't say that up front, but I get what you're talking about.
We get,
give them a chance. Sit down.
Catch you what you're putting down. We catch you what you're putting down.
Yeah.
And then take them to the next level.
Redlining already.
Right. I'm not redlining, okay, you guys.
She just said that was her desire. She just said a desire.
Yeah,
she didn't say that was an underwriting criteria. She didn't say that.
Now, it's because our people, we need it. I mean, they're just taking advantage. I'm like, you paying how much in rent? Right. It just blows my mind. It just really blows my mind.
Yeah, the rent is crazy. You got to make 3 times the rent now, or 4 times. Like,
so I got a question for you, Ty. Like, so just piggyback on Miss Althea point of a Black woman in real estate over the years, how it's evolved. Like you being in a strategic partnership situation, like talk a bit about the challenges that can happen, or when you're going from just being that agent to like that strategic partner, when you're doing type of strategic partnership deals with developers and pulling things together. Like, what does that look like when you're making that transition to pull deals to the table?
So I got to the part because it's like, what do you actually want to do in real estate? You can't service everybody. And so you have to find that niche. So I was, finding my niche and going out, networking, building these partnerships with developers, builders is key. Like going to the events that they're having, getting to know them, getting to know the sales counselor, going to the sites, doing the promotional marketing, like just getting out, making those partnerships. So when they do have something come up, you'll be on their email list. They'll send an email to you and let you know, hey, we have this inventory home, or we have this for sale at this price. Bring your clients in. So being a strategic partner with builders, developers is amazing, because that is my niche in new construction. And just being just a regular real estate, you want to be resourceful to your clients. Like if you don't have it, you want to go and find it for them, or they're just going to go find somebody else.
Right.
No, that's key. And so I want you to talk a little bit more about the critical part of relationships in the industry, because we're in the people business, right? Everything that we all do here, we work with people. Listen, to my last breath, I will always say, I believe people are the highest commodity on the planet. It's people. The most valuable thing on God's green earth is people, right? You build people and people will build the company. Somewhere along the way, people just start thinking about money, and they forgot about the people. You know what I'm saying? Like the people is the source that gravitates and get the momentum for you to be able to make a bigger notion. You look at people like him, Ford, that created these, assembly lines. It was about creating something and putting people in position. Now Ford Motors has this great corporation, right? So I think you are great at networking and connecting with people, Ty. And so talk a little bit about like, what does that look like when you cultivate those relationships, and how important is it for you as a realtor, strategic partner, to cultivate good relationships to put your clients in winning positions?
It's basically about building trust, building longevity. Like you have to, get that trust and show a person like the real you. Don't be, going out there faking to say you make it. Just be authentic, to build that longevity. And
Absolutely.
Once you have that longevity, now you're at the forefront with your strategic partners. You're going to be the first person that they call. So it's so important to, always be authentic. Build a relationship. It's not about just the commission for me. It's like I said, being resourceful, longevity, and building that trust.
Man, that's everything. That's everything. So that's key. So I wanted to dive into this base project a little bit before we close this out, and make some transitions, because both of you guys are great agents, right? That are in a position, we got. I tell you, I'm gonna call this new school and old school. You know what I'm saying? We got some new school and old school in the realtor world. You know what I'm saying? We got some Adidas stripes over here with Miss Althea. Miss Althea brings us the Run DMC Adidas outfit. You know what I'm saying? And then Todd come out with the Nike swoosh. You know what I'm saying? And so we got two sides of the game that's shaking and baking. So we know all our people are gonna get everything they need. But I want you guys to talk about both. How do you feel what we're doing in this third ward revitalization program for the culture, for the community in the real estate world? Like, what makes these projects of the 40 affordable houses that we're doing, right? To be able to put people in position, the tiny home concepts, like, why is what we're doing in the market so important? With Houston growing as fast as it's growing, that the shortage of homes, why is what we're doing? And from your perspective as a real estate agent, why is it important for people to jump in now to take advantage of what's happening?
Who wants to go
You
first?
go first, Todd.
Okay, so opportunities, they come, but you want to jump in. You want to get in first. And what we're doing with the tiny homes affordability is needed in Houston. So many people are looking to buy, but the homes are not affordable. So being a part of base, making it affordable, tiny homes, people are going to be able to have that American dream per se of buying their home and making it a home for their family and passing that down. Living in an apartment is okay for a short period of time, but you want to have something that's established for you and your family. So what base is doing is really, pioneer, because you don't really see people out there doing it with everything you're offering to fix people's credit, to position them with their business. A trust, a lot of us don't know what a trust is. We haven't even heard of trust. Just, you're a trust baby. And it's kind of like make fun of. No, you want to be a trust baby. Okay. So having all this in place of what base is doing, you definitely want to be involved.
Nah, that's key. But thank you so much for, I would love to be a trust baby. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's something that's going in the right direction. But I agree with that. So, Miss Althea, what would you say to piggyback on Ty's statement of why this is so, pivotal for the market?
Well, the way I see it, when the vision started going on in my head, is I see it being the way that we can build that generational wealth for the next generation. Okay.
Absolutely.
If we start it, then you're going to get these young bucks that's going to say, okay, well, they doing it, I can do it. Right. And then I can see this thing just exploding. I mean, I can see it just exploding all over Houston. So when the word start to get out, hey, I made 10% rate of return on my investment, their ears are going to go, you know what I'm saying? So I could just see it just, and I'm like this, when God put you in a position to bless people, and you bless them and you blessing them for unselfish reasons, then your blessings are just going to be out of the water, just blown out of the water. Because I think everybody on here is for the people. We're not just for ourselves. We're not just for the money. You are proving that you want to share the wealth with others. And I think that is one of the most important parts of what you guys got going on, what we got going on. I put it that way, what we got going on.
That's right. Take ownership of this, dear baby. Take ownership. Take ownership. You a trust-based baby too. Like, you're a trust baby. No, that's so cool. We appreciate that. One thing you said, and I'm gonna turn this to Tara real quick. When we was on a call the other day, and you was like, the fact that we dropped the entry investment to 25,000, the minimum was 100,000, so the average person can get in, was pivotal to you, because for us it's about the network. Yes, we could partner with a lot of investors and high and credited, sophisticated investors is what they call them, right? Who just move money around. They have no emotion about it, long as the numbers make sense, and then they write the check. Like, of course we could do that, but that's no different from any other development company that just putting up skyscrapers, right? And that's not really the purpose that God put on our heart. Our deal was making purpose-driven impact, right? Profits and purpose come together to have a rope coil or relationship to grow. Because one day we gonna leave here, right? And so we want to leave a staple of how do we impact the people to do something indifferent, to elevate, right? We've all seen people make a lot of money and just run off into the sunset, go get an island somewhere in Costa Rica, and they just out of here, right? You know what I'm saying? that's not what we wanted to do. We really wanted to make impact with the people and put them in a better position. So when you said that the other day on the call, that really, really resonated with me. And I want to tell you that I appreciate that statement because you tap right into where we are. We wanted to open up the door. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. It's just us on here, right? Helping us is some of the hardest things to do sometimes.
Yes,
You know what I'm
yes,
Yeah.
yes, it is.
Can we be honest?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
It is the hardest part of what we do when you're trying to launch something of great magnitude, but you're like, come on, y'all, like,
Right.
come on, you know what I'm saying? You're trying to mold the clay of the brain to understand why you building this empire. And it's like it take a certain person, and that's the same reason why most people don't fool with it. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's the
Right.
reason why most people like, man, I ain't got time to be fooling with these people, man. They ain't gonna never be no better, right? That's just what they want to be. And we was crazy enough to say, no, we gonna find the ones in here who do want to do better and help them get in position. So this is our moment to call for prayer. We need all prayer from everybody across the world to bless the minds of base creatives. You know what I'm saying? Because we was crazy enough to say it's some good in there. My pastors always say it's some good in the worst one, right? And it's some bad in the best one.
Yes.
You know?
And I just think it was awesome that you guys were saying, hey, yes, you can have a group of people come in and pool y'all money together and
Absolutely.
also join that way, because a lot of them not going to have the 25,000. But if they can get a group, I thought that was just awesome. I'm like, oh my God, and then if you're telling them, hey, we're going to help you get your LLC started, help you get the money, help you get into this, right? I thought it was phenomenal. But a lot of the younger people these days want it fast and quick.
Yeah.
They don't want to put in the work. They just want it real quick and fast. So we got to find the ones who don't mind putting in the work, okay, and bringing in others. So I commend y'all, really.
Yeah.
I do.
And I think one of the things that I believe is so important about, our community, right? It's we live in a community that they want to see it happen. They want to see other people doing it. So like you said, when people start getting those, we call them check stories or whatever the case may be,
Yeah.
it is going to blow. It is going to blow. But the thing about it is we have to start somewhere. And I always believe, you have your nucleus of people who really understand the mission and who really get it, that's going to run without slowing nobody down. And then once we get so far, because this is the thing about it, and this is something we have to be conscious of, there's always going to be friction or resistance to what we're doing. So that's why for us, it's about building that small base of people that we can go fast with. And then by the time they look up and really understand what we're doing, it's too late at that point. So it's like that's really the thought process of it. We have a small net of people that we're reaching out to and that we really want to work with, because we got to understand the things that we doing is revolutionary. I remember when I went to Jamaica, one of the first books that I saw there is, Message to the People by Marcus Garvey. And it talks about the dimes and nickels and the pennies. Like that's how our communities have ran before now. And we definitely have to get back to that, because that's where the power lies. Me and my wife were at a political event the other day, and the guy was talking about he was running for Congress, and he's proposing this bill that would help us save our properties in our communities. And the guy said, we're not doing that. And he's like, man, why can't we own nothing? And he said, because we don't want you to. And I said, that's what I'm talking about. I said, I still hear us asking people to do things for us that we should be doing for ourselves.
Yes, exactly.
It's time out for that. Like, we don't have to ask nobody to get our credit together. We don't have to ask nobody to get an LLC. We don't have to ask anybody to get a trust to protect our property rights. We don't have to ask anybody to do that. But we're like Sloan said, we're crazy enough to say, hey, man, we got this. And we love y'all enough to say, hey, we got this information. Come on over here. We're going to show you what to do. So I think that's more than anything, man. I think that's the mission that drives us every day, and we will find the right group, and we're gonna help as many as we're supposed to help. I truly believe that.
As many as we can. You know what I'm saying? Again, if it wasn't about education, we could have went another way. but we are educators at heart. Like this is just what we do. Like this is what we get up in the morning doing. Like that whole bookshelf over there is full of books. Like I still got books from college back there. Like I'm just a book hoarder. You know what I'm saying? Like I still got 20 years of education back there. You know what I'm saying? And so it's about taking information and helping other people go to the next level. And I believe that's going to be the star in the crown. They always say, if you want to go fast, go by yourself. If you want to go far, go with others. And this is the piece where base is opening up the door to go with others, right? And so each one teach one, iron sharpen iron. I think Tara, I'm gonna let you pull it up on your side. Let's go a little bit of the presentation so people can see, right, a little bit of what the offer is inside of base, and they can see, because some people didn't see on the lunch and learn earlier today because that was a private meeting, right? But can you share on your side, or
yeah, I'm pulling it up now.
Updated presentation you can share. But guys, we want to just say so a little about what these great realtors are talking about here is that we are in the process right now building 3 different projects, right? We have a 40 affordable home housing project in an area called Lower Copy in Houston. We also have 12 townhomes in Griggs, right? All within the loop. See, I'm getting the Houston lingo going on that. We in the loop, baby. You know what I'm saying? So
by the way, Lord Copy is Trinity Garden.
Trinity Garden. Okay, let me put that down. Trinity Garden,
yes.
Lord Copy.
Yes, that's where I grew up. I grew up over there. It's called Trinity
Lord
Garden.
Copy, Trinity Garden. I'm taking all notes. I'm from all my season. You know what I mean? Trinity Garden. Oh Lord, they done woke the dog up. And so we got, hey man, quiet down. And so we got that project going on, right? And then obviously we have the student housing project at Prairie View University, which is 1,000 beds. And so this is an absolutely phenomenal opportunity. So what happened was we was able to get partnered with a hedge fund company to back the development. This is a $25 million project that we are putting things together in increments. So in the first wave of this, $5 million drawdown that we're doing to be able to help build up and vitalize this area, which is an absolute blessing. What we decided to do was do a crowd fundraise to allow other investors that's not accredited investors or sophisticated investors to get inside the pool. This is what we're discussing at this point. If you really don't follow the conversation, we opened up a pool to allow the first 500,000 that comes from a crowd funds, a collective investors, to be able to get 10 and 15% ROI on their money. Also to get access to our network, to be able to get first rights of refusal of inventory. And that piece of itself is a streamline of equity that a person can actually level up their life. If you understand anything about real estate, you want as much equity and meat on the bone as possible. It don't get no more media and chunkier than working with a developer to build a new construction, and you have the difference between developer cost and market value. That is the ham hock of the bone. Like that's it right there, right? And so we are offering that to all of our partners. But I had a conversation with this, and I'm gonna let you pull it up, Terry. I want you guys to follow this piece here.
Can you see my screen?
Not yet.
No.
Not yet. We talked about the power of the network, and I really want to talk about this on the podcast. My fiance told me I need to do a better job of talking about this to the group, so I'm going to talk about this. I need you to understand the power of network, right? When you say get into a network and work with a group of individuals who are professionals, the money's in the circle, okay? The relationships that you make in the verticals to be able to scale up your business and do different deals come because you in the room. You know what I'm talking about? Like, you ever been in those situations where you pay to get into an event, a network or a mixer or something like that because you know the value inside the room? Anybody ever done that before? I've done that 1,000 times. Well, I paid to get into a room because I knew once I got in that room, the deals was going to happen. Like, it was like an energy in there. It was like a shaking up combustion that I knew if I got in that room, I was going to find somebody that was going to help me do more deals. You know what I'm talking about? That's what we're saying. When you get into the network and start developing with base, you're in the network, you're in the room of other lawyers, developers, realtors, you know what I'm saying? Business owners that own restaurants and all this type of jazz. And so whatever you do, mental health professionals and psychologists, and one of my partners is a dentist, you know what I'm saying? And so whatever you do, when you get in that room and that network, now you have an opportunity to scale up and do more deals. I want to make sure you guys walk away from and understand that. And then we talk about building services in the community and opening up a community center and things of that nature. We're going to look inside of our network first. Does that make sense? We're not looking outside to the general population to work with. we're working with the same base members that's invested into the projects, making money. We're cutting checks to them, and they have a skill set that we need. We're always going to go inside the network first. I really want to make sure I did a better job on the podcast talking about that today, of the leverage of being inside the network, outside of the real estate first rights of refusal, just being in a group of professionals that you can actually scale up your life and your business. And we ain't making no money off of you. Like that's just you making a relationship. I ain't like, hey, y'all did a deal. Y'all owe me 5%. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, because you're in the room, your value for your business goes up because you're in a certain network of people that are professionals. You got to understand that part. So I really want to make sure. Now, it's not pulling up yet, bro. Let me see if I can grab it.
Yeah, see if you can grab it, because this.
Yeah, let me see if I can do it. But I really want to make sure we do. So talk about it a little bit more, TY, and get the presentation. The power of the network, because I really want to make sure that people understand the power of being inside the room.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I always look at it from the standpoint of, for myself personally, I've been blessed to be in certain rooms that most people will never get into. And it's not because I'm special. I think I've just been blessed. When I was a kid coming straight out of college, my cousin was the vice president of Washington Mutual. So I was able to see mortgages done on a very, very high level and understand how the banks did mortgages. So when we opened up our mortgage shop, it was just like, oh, okay, we already knew what to do. So those things really make a difference. And I always say there's an expert in anything that you do. There's an expert in anything that you do. So a lot of people, they get out here and they don't want to pay. When I was in college, I paid $10,000 to go to Vegas to go to a seminar. I paid $20,000 to go to Costa Rica to train with a real estate developer. So I always say it's gonna cost you either way. It's either gonna cost you in time or it's gonna cost you in money. Either way. So it's like you have to understand, and this is a difference that I want us to understand. Wealthy people look at value, broke people look at price. That's the difference. So when everybody, how much?
I gotta come off of mute real quick. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I was backstage preparing, and I heard something that should go on the T-shirt. You know what I'm saying? It should be like, I'm sorry, I'm gonna go backstage. You can say it. Well, what we say in poetry? Rewind. Go back. Say that one more time. What wealthy people focus on value, broke people focus on price. It was something like that. I'm gonna go backstage.
Yeah. So wealthy people focus on value. Broke people focus on price. And that's what most of our community do. They look at, well, how much that's going to cost you all. Like when I first started doing crypto and things like that, and I was charging $5,000 for my my master class or my private consults or anything. Would you charge it out? I'm like, listen, you don't understand the value of what I'm saying. Now, 7 years later, you see the president and everything that's going on. This is what I was talking about 7 years ago that you didn't want to pay no money for. Exactly. So it's
and unfortunately, that's the way they are. It's like, I don't understand. I'm like, you gotta spend money to make money. That's my motto. I mean, it's like, okay, I'm spending this money, but I'm going to make money. But that's not the way most people look at it. But you got to think about a lot of our mentalities that's the way we were brought up. Yeah. And the thing about it is they're not teaching anything like this in school, nothing. So if your parents not teaching it to you and you don't have the schools teaching it to you, how you going to find it?
Where you going to get it from?
Right. Where you going to get it from?
And I think that's very important. And that's why I think that's why we do a lot of what we do. And we have to give our people grace, because I do realize, like, it's not a lot of us. Like, it's not a lot of Sloans and Bilbos out here. It's not a lot of Althea and Ties out here that have a different mindset. And to be honest with you, most of us, for the most part, are living in survival mode.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So it's hard to think about 3 to 5 to 10 years from now when you worried about how I'm gonna keep the lights on.
That's so true, man. I was just listening to that in one of those Nipsey clips I sent you last night, and he was like, "You got to get out of survival mode. Like the further you get out of survival mode, the closer you get to your true character." Does that make sense? Like, it's hard for a person, like in the judicial world, to a person stole something from the store, but they was trying to feed their family. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the morality, is separated when you're in survival mode, right? You get closer to morality and better character when you get closer to being secure. And
Right.
our goal of it is, and our project, to get people out of survival. I'm so glad you said that, bro. Getting people out of survival mode to security mode. You know what I'm saying? Because once you get true financial security, your character and your morality just increases. When people say by all means necessary, sometimes that ain't good. You know what I'm saying?
Not by all means. Don't come this way. You know.
All means necessary. All means ain't good means. You know what I'm saying? But we want to be in the morality mode of it. You know what I'm saying? In the character building mode of it. And that's what financial security does for people, man. And so we want to pull this up. Y'all can see my screen, right?
Yes.
Right.
Man, look at that, man. We moving and grooving, Bill. Boy, you be proud of me, man. And so this is what we are, right? So in the first part of this raise, what we talk about is crowdfunding, 500,000, 10% ROI on your money to be a part of the base community, right? 25,000 minimum, 100,000 maximum. As Miss Althea was saying, if you even create your own little private investor firm and 5 of y'all put $5,000 together, guess what? You're in. You get the same education, you get the same opportunity as everybody else. Again, we lowered the table to be able to get inside of a $25 million development project for people who can put together 5,000. Like, come on, let's just slow this down. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's just really make this make sense to understand that 25,000 to get inside of a $25 million project is a big daggone deal. Can we agree with that? Can we agree with that? And so that's why we're saying the first mover's advantage of being a part of that first 500,000, you get a 10% ROI on your money in your first 120 days. Why is that? Because in real estate, you have construction draws, right? So our first construction draw is $5 million. A $5 million draw gets you in position that the 500,000 to our base members is already accounted for. You know what I mean? And so we return that back to our members with a 10% ROI. Like Ms. Althea was saying, a 10% rate of return on your money, that's a big daggone deal in 120 days. Now, guess what, guys? You're risk-free. We call that in trading a risk-free trade. Like, you're good to go. You see what I'm saying? And now everything else is profit. The second phase is going to be the same ROI, is 10%, but the minimum goes up to 100,000. Right now, it's the maximum. Once we get past this, June 6th is the closeout of this particular phase. Once we cross over this particular threshold and we shut that piece down, again, we did this for everybody to open up. So you can't be scared. You can't be doubtful. You just can't be in that season right now because time waits on no man, right? I always say you have to seize the opportunity in the lifetime of the opportunity. This is the window. Windows open and shut, though. You know what I'm saying? And so you have to June the 6th to walk through the door before the door is shut to get in that first 500,000. Once we cross over to that next phase, you still can get 10%, but it's going to take 12 months. Still not bad, right? But I'd rather get my return on my investment in 120 days than 365 days. Does that make sense? And so that's kind of where we are with a sense of urgency. And this is for the culture. This phase right here, it's for the culture. It's for the culture. It's for the network. It's for people to get in position. So you can leverage that cash and get in position. If you're a person, you got the credit score, but you don't have the cash, we do have lenders that can work with you on the personal funding, on the business funding, for you to be able to get the capital up to be able to make that happen. But you got to move quick. So you're going to have to inbox us, email us, send us a smoke signal. You're going to have to do something like quick, right? Because this is going to close out. And if you want to get in, let's get you in position. So I really want to talk about that because the second phase is going to be this right here. It's going to be an interest-only payment every quarter from our CPA, and you'll get that every quarter for 12 months. On the 13 months, you get a balloon payment of what's due to you from your investment, or the 25th month, you get a balloon payment, right? But the minimum investment will be $100,000, right? And so these are the projects that we talked about. One in Lower Copy, that's the 40 affordable houses and townhomes. Tiny homes. This is the townhomes and Griggs, which backed up right to that property is all $1 million homes on the backstretch downtown. And so you got an opportunity to be able to get inside of that place in that position. And this is what Ty was talking about, of how we have this deal set up for individuals to be able to keep security of their asset. I can't stress this piece enough. This piece right here is what sets base apart from any developer that I've ever seen. I bought my first house when I was in college. I was like 21 when I bought my first home. I was still in school. I was 21 years old when I bought my first home. My sister told me to buy a home versus opening up my first business. I'm like, man, are you crazy? I'm trying to get to the money. And she was like, boy, you better buy a home because it's going to give your family more security. And to this day, I still own that house. My daughter is 20 years old and she's in college. Ain't that crazy? And I still own that home today. To this day, I have all of that equity for 18. She was 2 years old. For 18 years, I acquired equity in the property without paying rent. Like, I'm a testimony of what we teach. I lived it. You know what I'm saying? And so but this piece here, buying in the LLC, no one told me that. No one told me that I should have bought it in the LLC and put it in the trust. You know what I'm saying? Because I done been through the, as a broke entrepreneur trying to make it shake, you know what I'm saying? And you fall in foreclosure, you got to buy it out. You know what I'm saying? Went through a divorce, could have lost it, had to keep it out. All of that stuff a trust protects you from. Okay, can we be real? This is what happens, right? In regular life, your property can go through stages where you can almost lose it. If you buy it in the business itself falls into a trust, the trust own it, you don't own it. So it's not an asset that's a part of your asset column. So we have a process where we allow our clients to buy in a business and put the business in the trust. Guys, that piece right there is going to keep so many properties out of probate. It's going to keep so many people owning their cribs. And I've seen it this way because I have an insurance background and investing. Like I told you, I've seen it this way too. I miss out the entire. I've seen clients have to liquidate their assets. You guys ever seen somebody do that? When they go to a nursing home or assisted living facility, before the insurance kicks in to be able to say, we'll help pay for your care, you have to liquidate your savings account, checking account, and any assets to make you look broke. This is what they want to do to keep you alive. And I want you to think about this. For you to stay alive, you know what I'm saying, and get the care that you need, you have to show on paper that you broke. That's crazy to me. It's absolutely insane to me. You got to go 30, 40, 50 years of your life to accumulate assets to be secure. And if God forbid you get sick, you got to shrink it in 6 months and go broke. 40 years to build it, and in 6 months, you got to go broke to stay alive.
But they also need to know about the long-term care.
The long-term care, that's the other piece. Yeah, talk about it. The long-term care. That falls in that space. You got to liquidate. Man, it's just not good. So our process of LLC trust keeps your assets protected where you have access to the assets, but you don't own them, right? Put it in the trust, irrevocable. No one can take it away from you. That's the part I get excited about that. I do it every time. It's just, Jesus, man, that part is so good. It's just insane. And so this is our Prairie View project, guys, 1,000 homes that we put in position to do a lease with the school for 1,000 beds for the students. And so that last phase is going to be 12 to 24 months. So you got to move now, right? And that access to the network right now is so important to get the inventory. And like we told earlier, I'm going to go back in the slides for just a second. When we talked about, and I think it was the lower copy deal. Let me go back. When we talk about this piece right here, to be in position where you have an average ROI of $150,000 on a property, building that builder's cost. Jill, I want you to talk about that for a minute from a developer standpoint. The benefit of building at developers' cost and being able to have a profit on the back end with equity. Can you dive into that for a second?
Well, what I would say is we talk about it all the time about the DIY and the fix and flippers, right? The reason why a lot of the fix and flippers are not seeing the profit margin that we used to see in the market because it's saturated. And so when we moved over and we decided to take our transition from saying, hey, let's find the property instead of saying instead of finding the inventory, we're going to create the inventory. That was a game changer for us because the same time and effort that you putting in to flip these houses and do all this and now people are making 10 to 12% on a deal, which, it's decent, it's doable, but if you can buy a property and get a 40 to 50% ROI on your funds, and again, the way we teach it, you're leveraging other people's money. So you're not even using any of your own money. So whatever you have to pay back to the bank, whatever your net profit is, that's all free money. We call it Lanya in Louisiana. You know what I mean? So that changed the game to me, because like I said, I've been in the game since 03, when I walk into a developer's office and say, hey, I need 20-30% off of this deal, and I close out the whole subdivision. That doesn't exist anymore. You know what I mean? So when conditions change, your strategy has to change.
Absolutely.
And I think that's what we are right now, man. When we provide this is huge, guys. I'm gonna be honest with you. This is huge. And then, when you also think about how to use other programs like the veteran programs, like the one-time close, and being able to buy these properties with 0% down. Like, it's so many ways that this is more beneficial than trying to do it the way we were doing it 10, 20 years ago. Like, this is a game changer. So and I want to speak directly to the fix and flippers. You have the passion, you have the understanding. You're 90% there. You're just in the wrong vehicle. That's just what it comes down to, right? So this is a game that we want to make sure that everybody can get a piece of and understand. But this is definitely the highest and best return for your money. Like I said, for me, and our kids, what we're looking at is, hey, you have to build at least one property per year, right?
Absolutely.
And if you're talking about a lower copy property where you can get $150,000 on the back end from selling one home, there is no job, there is no occupation that you can do that in 4 months, unless you're moving weight. Other than that, I don't know.
Hello, somebody.
Yeah,
we ain't in the 90s no more, so that retirement process is done. That's a wrap.
Yeah, so that's what it is, man. And it's exciting for me because, when we sit back and me and Sloan think about it, this is the benefit of helping people, right? Because now we look at it from the standpoint, all we have to do is find property, replat it, and present an opportunity to people. So inside of our network, say we got 40 people. If each one of those people say, hey, I want one, that development is sold out. Now we move to the next.
It's done.
And we continue to help people build, continue to help people get their portfolios in place. And we will get the benefit. We're not out here acting like we're doing charity, because we're not. But we're helping a lot more people, and a lot more people are getting home ownership, and a lot more people are understanding this development game, because God is not making any more dirt. So if the man who masters the dirt controls their future.
That's true.
Absolutely. Hey, and to your point right there, bro, we had a conversation with one of our partners the other day, and it's one of our Anglo-Saxon counterparts. You know what I'm saying? And what he said to me was powerful when he talked to Taylor and I, and he heard what we was doing, because we're gonna create our real estate, and financial literacy courses, and you guys will be able to see that in our mastermind events and all this type of jazz. That's coming soon, right? That's on the market right now. But he said his family's been doing this for 20 years, and he was so excited. Offered for Taylor and I to come to Chicago and go to his studio and shoot the content and host us up and give us good Thai food and all this kind of jazz. And then, mind you, this is one of our Anglo-Saxon counterparts. Like, some of our cousins across the street can't give us no cornbread, right? But our Anglo-Saxon partners ready to fly to Chicago and put us in the studio. It's just mind-blowing, right? But he said, this is what he said. He said him and his family has acquired 1,800 doors that they own right now. 1,800. I want you guys just to do me a wild guess before I tell you the number. Just guess how many people is in there. He called it their syndicate. How many people is in their investment syndicate? Just take a while. For 1,800 doors over the last 20 years, they've made quadruply millions of dollars. How many people do you feel like is inside that investment syndicate?
What you think, Miss Out there?
Maybe 10.
10? Now that's generous. Okay,
Yeah,
Ty, how many do you say?
50.
50? So put 10 and 50 together. So that's why y'all gonna work good together. So y'all answer the question together. It's a group project. You know what I'm saying? They got, that's so funny, because it's really 60, right? And so 60 people help create 1,800 doors that they all have made millions over. They do not go outside of their circles to do a project. It's hard in the Black community to get two people together to be a co-owner on a car.
Right.
We can't get a good co-owner on a property to make sure grandma good. You know what I'm saying? It's 60 of them that came together over 20 years, and they own 1,800 properties. I really want that to sit in for a second. So when we talking about crowdfund collectives, put the business together, let's investors make money together. I don't want it to go over people's head to understand this happens everywhere. We just got to get on the wavelength to make sure we don't miss our opportunity thinking about the wrong stuff. You know what I'm
But
saying?
see, they're willing, they're open and willing to step out of their comfort zone to do what they need to do. That's where we got to get.
I don't even think it's uncomfortable for them no more, Ms. Out there. I just think they just know that's what you got to do.
It's what they do.
Yeah, that's part of it.
What they do. Like we call it discomfort. It's discomfortable because as a culture, I'm gonna be real. We just been taught to be against each other for so long that our trust factors are not there.
Yes.
In their culture, they're taught to collaborate. You know what I mean? The Jews do it, the Chinese do it. You know what I'm saying? The Caucasians do it. There's more of their culture to collaborate.
The Hispanics do it. They will have 20 people in one house until the next family builds their next house and they move into their next house.
Bro, I seen a group of Hispanics move to the bottom of our neighborhood and put a trailer way at the bottom. I'm like, man, we got a trailer down here somewhere? Bro, next thing I know, they bought another trailer. And it was two of them. They cut down the middle and put them together. 2 months later, it was a brick house. You know what I'm saying? Like they created a double wide with two single wides, made it a double wide, made it creative. Put the brick around it. It's the best looking house on the block now. You know what I'm saying? Because they came together to build it, and all of them own their own business. Now, today, that house is for somebody else, and they all. I'm just saying, it happens everywhere, guys. So as Tara was talking about that, I really want to pull it together because our network, we're going to keep our network tight, and that network will forever eat with each other. Well, we don't have to go outside of our network to build any developer. If it's 50 properties, if it's 100 properties, those properties would go to our network first. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And if you started with $25,000 or $50,000 now and invested and you got your money back out, and now we helped you build your business credit, we helped you build your personal credit. Now your paydex score is 80 plus, and now you can go to the bank and get $500,000, and now we can teach you how to multiply that money just leveraging your credit. You are now in the game. You are now an accredited investor, and you can now scale up the way. Now imagine we got 60 people that we all got $1 million a piece. We got $60 million to go take down some high rises. You follow what I'm saying? This is how we got to be thinking about it. We can't be thinking about 25,000, 100. That ain't nothing. That's just saying, okay, congrats, we good. Let's think of 12 months from now when everybody got $1 million and we got 60 people with $1 million and we got $60 million going to take down the high rise.
Yep.
This is the notion of the power of the network. So it's a different game, man. So we wanted to show y'all this. Tara, appreciate you breaking that down, man, because when you said 12 to 15% and now they getting 40 to 50% now, bro, that shit's crazy.
Yeah, it's a different game, man. It's a different game. But I think again, what we're doing is powerful. It takes the right mindset, it takes the right players to pull it off. I just believe we don't need a whole bunch. We just gotta be the demonstration. Like my mama always said, like with my kids and anybody else, she said, you the demonstrator. You got to be the demonstrator, and that's what we're doing. We're gonna step forward. We're gonna be the demonstrator, and those who follow, I believe you'll be profitable for it. Those who don't, you'll be stuck in that same position. But one more thing I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna let it go because I know we having fun tonight. But just think about that though. How many on up is, and we can talk on chat and we can talk online. How much did you spend for your college education? So you're talking about $25,000 to put you in a point of a return on investment, property ownership, business credit, leverage for 20. That's better than any educational institution that you could ever go to. And a lot cheaper. So I just understand and know the value that we provide and what we're doing. You know what I mean? So it's just like, that's why we screaming from the mountaintops, because we understand what this is really about. So we just hope everybody else sees the picture, and those who do, we welcome with open arms, and we're gonna be the light, and hopefully it shines on enough people. You know what I mean?
That's for sure. I just seen one of the brothers on Facebook. Let me see if I can find his name real quick.
Yeah, T Real the most.
Yeah, I just seen him. Let me see if I can find a bro. All right, bro. I'm gonna tap in with you and appreciate you hopping on. You know, definitely say you want to get he's interested in getting the base network. Y'all get a brother a hand. Y'all get a brother a hand. You know what I'm saying? Y'all get a brother a hand. Congratulations. You know what I'm saying? Welcome to
You're
the base. What'd you say?
You say with base, you're safe.
You safe with base, baby. You safe with base. Safe. Man, our brand is so dope. Wait till y'all see the merch. It's so dope. It's so dope. We got the baseball.
I'm just passing this stuff to people left and right, and I'm telling you, the ones who see it, they're wowed by it. They, open-minded. They wow, wow.
It's and we're getting and we appreciate that. Like this is like me and Tara talk about this all the time. This is like we both been in this game for 20 plus years. Yep. This project is a compilation of all of our projects we've done. So that's 40 years of business experience doing different industries across the country, internationally. You know what I'm saying? Like my last project, we was in 50 different countries. You know what I'm saying? Like that project was all across the world teaching financial literacy. You know what I'm saying? And how to make money in the market. And Tara was on a cutting edge technology of doing some tokenization. You know what I'm saying? And just doing things that was just like next level. You know what I mean? And when we look at what we're doing today, don't get it twisted because base, started this year. Don't get it twisted. You talking about 40 years collectively of businesses that did 7 figures and beyond and put a lot of people in position. Yep. This is so much fun for us to do. This is just fun. Like this is fun. Like when I started my last business, I had waves. Y'all see what happened? You know what I'm saying? I had waves. And now I got that nice Kevin Garnett, sleek and smooth. You know what I'm saying? I became a part of the salt and pepper game. You know what I'm saying? Like this right here is fun because we get to take all the knowledge that we learned in the industry and put people in real winning situations that we know work. This ain't guesswork. Like this is experience and God's revelation of how to win in this space. They always say you got the lines, but then you got certain people that can read in between the lines. You know what I'm talking about? It takes experience to read in between the lines. A rookie can read what they see, but a vet can read what's not shown. Yep. And this is 40 years of in between the lines that created base. So I'm past, my kids is about to be grown. I'm past the stage of convincing people. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't, let me tell you something, baby. I'm way past that stage in my career of trying to convince somebody to do anything that God done told me to do. I am way past that stage. So if me and you ever have a conversation and you feel like I got to convince you to join me, baby, that conversation going to be short. I'm talking about short sleeve Steve. That conversation going to be short. You know what I'm saying? Because I ain't in that phase in my career. I'm in the phase of enlightenment, encouragement, and evolution. This is the stage of where we are, of how we take people to the next level. So we have so much fun with this. Hey, Diane, what's up, baby? Mwah! And my sister just hopped on here. What's up, baby? What's up, baby? Oh, man, I love Diane. That's Diamonds. We call it Diamonds Are Forever. Her name, Danya. We call her Diamonds. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, guys, that's just what we are. We want to help the people and strive. But I promise you, this ain't about convincing. This is about, like, listen, we've all had access to opportunities and missed them because we was out of position. It would be a shame to be in position and still miss it.
Yeah. Yep.
If you miss it and you're in position to be a part of a development that's revitalizing the whole city, that's internal. That's fear. That's doubt. You know what I'm saying? That's past business trauma. You know what I'm saying? Like that ain't got nothing to do with the deal. Does that make sense? People miss stuff because of their own mindset. I'm just not that place. So this is fun for us. of being able to do this for you guys. And that's why we tell you, get in right now while you can, because the average retail business person is not going to be able to get in after 2 weeks. We just know that. 25,000, 50,000, 100,000 to get in now. It's just, that's for the culture. When they start getting 100,000, we don't want your last 100,000 to go in the project. Don't call me saying, Sloan, I need that back. The rent due. Yo, this project ain't for you, baby. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's go get some business funding that we can talk about it. You know what I'm saying? But we're looking for those who want to get in and do some good things, because on the next side, it's going to be all the accredited, sophisticated investors that could put up 200,000, 500,000, and it ain't no big deal, because it's all about development, and that's how developers play the game. This side is for the culture. So, Tay, I want you to wrap us up, man. Well, let's go to our guest first, and we gonna start with new school, and I want to end with old school. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna go to new school. We're gonna call Ty the Nike swoosh. So I want to go to the Nike swoosh. And so, Ty, what is this call meant to you and the project meant to you as you wrap this up? And congratulations on launching your career and doing a great job. We just see you being a power broker in the future. We see you having so many agents under you that you can lead and manage and teach them the game, because you got the work ethic, you got the personality, you got all the sauce, you know what I'm saying, to go to the next level. So I'm going to tell you congratulations ahead of time. You know what I'm saying? I want to speak life on you, because you're doing so many great things in the community. Your husband is absolutely a genius ahead of his time. So for him to find you, he the blessed one. You know, you tolerating this joker, you know what I'm saying? But he the blessed one. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm gonna say congratulations, Ty. So, you know, as you wrap this up, what would you like for the people to take away from this call?
Like this, every time I listen to you guys, I'm always learning something new. But just everything that we have for base put together, it's going to put, people who are ready for this in a whole nother bracket. And you have to have the mindset, like he said, we're not here to convince. We only want those who are willing and ready to go. Because if you're not, it's okay. Maybe it's not your season, but know that everything that we're doing is genuine. It's authentic, it's experience, it's from the heart. And so we're ready to help those who are ready, basically. And I'm excited about being able to share my knowledge with other people as well, with getting my broker's license, be able to teach. I also like to educate as well. And so being with base, you're gonna get all the education. Like it's just nonstop education over here. I'm truly excited about where base is, where it's going, and it's going to be global.
Absolutely. Thank you,
Absolutely.
sis. We appreciate that. So, all right, it's a new school signing off. I'm gonna take you backstage. Don't hang up, but we're gonna take new school. We're gonna put the Nike swoosh in the backstage. We're gonna come back to you here in just a second. All right. So, Miss Althea, old school. Man, I'm talking about Adidas sweatsuit, run DNC baby with the bucket cap. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about having a good time. Moonwalking out there with Jackson 5 and Tito and the boys. And man, Miss Althea, you bless my soul so much today. Man,
Well, thank you.
I appreciate the
Thank
wisdom,
you.
the evolution of the industry. And like you said, when you told your sister, if the numbers made sense, do it. Put all the bills in there and redo it. But that was a sprinkle right there. That was a sprinkle. So if you could tell the people real quick, how do you feel about the project and the evolution of us being able to impact the community, and what you excited about with this project?
I'm very excited about it. I can just see it just exploding. I think bass is going to be on a lot of people's tongues in Houston, Texas. Okay, I could just I could just see it. Okay, I'm still thinking of people. I'm still introducing. I'm excited. I'm like, I cannot believe that this is actually going on. I'm like, where were you guys a long time ago? Okay, but
I wasn't
you're
born.
here
I
now.
wasn't born, Miss Althea. What you mean? I wasn't even here.
I'm just glad y'all here. Let me tell you, because I think it's going to be phenomenal. And
Thank you.
like I told Tara, I'm getting ready to go and drive around, check on everything. I'm already getting ready to get nosy. Okay, I want to do some driving this weekend. So all I can say is, if you get off the back burner, step out there, get that funding done. It doesn't cost you anything to just go for it, and you won't regret it. And I'm just going to say this, that, we're not up where we need to be, because when the Microsoft came along, we didn't join. When the Facebook came along, we didn't join. When all of these things come along, we didn't join, and we're on the back burner. Now it's time for you to join base and be on the front of everything.
Come on, man. Talk about it, man. Listen, we're gonna pass a couple around one more time for Miss Althea. We're gonna pass the plate just one more time when she get out of here. Just one more time, man. Y'all give it up for Miss Althea, man. Give it up for
Yay.
and I'm gonna connect you to my partner here in Charlotte so y'all can work because he said he wants to work with you. All right. So I don't recruited you an agent,
Awesome.
right? So I got you
Awesome.
covered. So I'm gonna take you backstage and then don't hang up, don't click out. I'm just gonna take you backstage. All right. All right. Thank you, Miss Althea. Y'all give it up for Miss Althea, man. Put us some hearts and some fires in the chat, man. We appreciate it. All right, T Money. Hey, Terrell, reset your computer real quick. Go backstage and come back because you've been in that same stance about 5 minutes. So go. All right, cool. Come back in, bro. Come back in. All right, so we're gonna get Terrell back in here in just a second, man. We hope you guys enjoyed the show today. This has been an absolutely fun show. It's always good for us to be able to come together and do the things that we like to do. And this project, is a compilation again of our business experience over the last 20 years. So for those who I've been in this space for a long time. Financial literacy and education is always my thing. If it's anything about growth, economics, development, like economic development, like all that's kind of in my psyche and wheelhouse. And this particular project is dear to the heart. 5 years ago through our COVID time, God bless his soul, before I lost my father, I was working on real estate development. Before I opened up my financial literacy firm with my partners and we created that brand that did extremely well. And I'm still grateful for that experience. But prior to that, I was actually doing a real estate development corporation. It was what I was working on. And it came down to one signature, right? And it was an inheritance property. I was buying 8 acres for about $55,000. And right across the street from a Walmart in Pageland, South Carolina. And I was excited about doing that at that time before the lumber cost went up. It was $50,000 to build a home. And they had a waiting list, just like Houston has right now. So I'm telling you, like, God is so on time. It's so crazy because we could build 8 to 10 houses, in that particular parcel. And it could be sold off plan. So imagine putting up 110,000 and you could build the houses one at a time with the construction loan. That particular project at 50,000 a home, selling for 250, I could have made 200,000 a home. So do the numbers on that. You know what I'm saying? And then I was debating in my spirit between should I do that or the other project. And then when that project canceled because the family couldn't agree, that's when I started, the Forex education brand with my partners and had a great run. But God had told me then, use it or lose it. It was either I was going to make money on my own with my own skill set, or I was going to use my skill set and teach other people. And I couldn't make a choice. So God made a choice for me. The deal flopped. And I went into the education space and did that for the last 5 years. And so now that brand is continuing to perpetuate, I had an opportunity to do this again. And it just took off. Like it just absolutely took off. And so to be able to do the financial literacy, to which I wanted to do, and the real estate development, that was my highest purpose to do, is this company to do what we're doing to impact so many people in the community and households is just by far a blessing all the way around. All right, T, I got you back in. And so, guys, for those who have just your first time hearing about BASE, that opportunity to be able to build, achieve, sustain excellence is what we want to do in the Black and Brown community. And so we're not ruling out any other culture, but I got to be honest, like my servitude to be able to help the culture has been what I've done my whole career, is because we need the information the most, but we get it the least. And if you ain't noticed, I'm darker than most brothers, you know what I'm saying? And so for me to go inside of a space and take this knowledge that God has blessed me to have and give it back, I'll live for that. So this opportunity to help people go to the next level, it's just what it is. This ain't about nothing else but that, because this ain't about belief, about convincing, because this is already going. Like we're already in building mode. This is about extending the olive branch to say, listen, you have to be that game changer in your family. You got to be that changer that can break free, do what everybody been talking about doing, but you actually do it. And then you can reach back and pull everybody with you. We need more game changers in the world. You need more pace setters. Everybody trying to fall in a single file line and follow what everybody else is doing. I've always been that guy. If everybody's going left, I'm going to go right. I'm going to do my own thing. I'm cool doing my own thing. I don't have to follow nobody. I'm just built like that. You need to be that person in your family. So I hope this call inspired you and helped you to understand it's okay for you to be different. It's okay for you to do what everybody's talking about doing. But God don't bless just thinkers. God bless people who do. So many people think about doing, but doing is what makes you successful. Not thinking about doing. There's so many great ideas and people in the graveyard who never did. Hello.
Yep.
But legacy goes to the people who bet on themselves and they did it. Win, lose, or draw, you did it. And so I'm going to give a big shout out to all the doers out here as we wrap this up. But my dear brother, man, congratulations on another good call again. This was a fun call. We, coming back on the last 2 weeks to be able to help the people, man. And I got to give it up for Terrell before I give it back to him, because Terrell is that real estate guy. He is that developer guy. And God couldn't have gave me a better partner with a better heart, a partner with who know the business in that space, and that I could just assist, to what he already knew to do and bring my expertise to it. But I trust this brother's judgment when it comes to this space. It's two spaces that you can't talk to me about nobody or nothing, and I'm gonna call Terrell first. You can't ask me about nothing about crypto. That's for sure. You can't talk to me about nothing with crypto, and I don't call Terrell first. It ain't true unless Terrell said it's true. And the second thing is this real estate development space. When you talk about judgment, who know the numbers, who know if a deal makes sense or not, he just know, right? And so I'm grateful for you, brother. I'm grateful for your life, and I'm grateful for everything you mean to your family. And congratulations on just being a great man to your wife, your family, your children, and just keep doing what you're doing, man. I'm looking forward to making impact with you, brother. So we're going to turn it over to Mr. Billboard, the crypto consultant himself. I'm going to let you take it on, brother, man. We appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for chiming in. This going to be my closeout words, man. I'm going to go backstage myself, and I'm going to let Mr. Billboard bring it on in.
Man, that's powerful, man. Like, and I got to give it back to my brother, man. I always tell him how grateful I am to be able to work with somebody that you can trust, and the energy is what it needs to be. We can go so much further when we don't have to worry about looking over our shoulders or things not being done the proper way. So just having him in my corner, man, us being locked together, it's been a beautiful thing for me, man. It's been peaceful, and it's been a joy to have. And I know we just getting started. So, I got to give it to my brother on that one. But guys, in life, we've been told so many times about, what we can't do. And, society will tell you that, that's not for you, or you shouldn't be doing this, or a family be like, you crazy. Why are you doing that? And I'm just here to tell you, man, not that they mean any harm, but the truth of the matter is they can't do it because they can't see themselves doing it. And they tell you can't do it because they don't see themselves doing it. So I want to let you know that you can do it. You can absolutely do it. I said it before. There's an expert in anything and everything that you want to do and that you want to be. And we provided this platform for those who want to see something different in their lives, who ready to step out of the box, who ready to say that I'm tired of this ordinary thing or this thing that I've been doing over and over again, expecting a different result. This is the different result. You have to take the steps to make sure you get to it, and we're going to make sure we help you through it. All right. So with that being said, man, this has been another amazing show, the Money Talk Show podcast. We are here for you guys each and every Thursday. Make sure you guys follow up, get with us. And this is amazing. This train going to keep on rolling. Like they said, but man, we love you guys. We'll see you guys next Thursday. Everybody have a great evening.